Hello and welcome to my review of the official Minecraft plastic figures. These sets are available in the UK for around £8, which is about the standard price you'd expect to pay for a branded toy, because these are heavily branded with the Minecraft brand, obviously. Each set comes with a figure, such as Steve or the Enderman, a block of some kind. I believe Steve had the coal block and Enderman had the grass block, and they also came with something like a pickaxe or a piece of redstone dust or something like that, but I don't know what that is because they go missing very easily. The minifigures' hands do have special slots which they can use to pick up these items and hold them, which is a nice addition. Now Enderman has a special type of hand. See that it has those triangular shapes, so it should be possible for him to pick up a block in those hands. Will he be able to do it? I really don't know. The block, it doesn't seem to be big enough to go in the hands. Maybe it's meant to be, but I don't want to bend the hands back too much, so that is a complaint unless I got it wrong. Looking at the figures themselves, they do seem to resemble the figures from the game. You can tell very clearly that this is an Enderman. It has the correct colour, although the colour detail isn't as much as I'd have liked. There's only a two-tone colour scheme, which is grey and black, which is a little bit lacking considering the actual game figure has a bit more than that. Coming on to the Steve, the problem is even more evident. Because Steve is more colourful, you can see that the two-tone colour scheme doesn't really work. Each of the figures is really poseable, so you can bend each of the arms round like this, and the arms will stay still. However, for some reason, I'm not sure if this is the same on every single Steve, the legs are very flexible, so they can't stand up by themselves. So if I put Steve down, it's very hard to get him to balance without him falling back. So that is very annoying. Enderman, I believe, doesn't have this problem, even though he has poseable legs. The legs on this one are so bad they can even be easily taken off. It's like undoing a Lego brick, very easy. But that is a sign that the build quality of these figures doesn't really quite match the price tag that we are paying for them. Okay, now going on to scale. So each of these blocks in Minecraft is about a metre long, by a metre, by a metre. So this tower here should be 2 metres tall. First of all, going on to Steve. Steve is just under 2 blocks tall in the game, and he seems to be about right. I think the figure could be slightly bit larger than that, but overall the proportions and shape are very realistic to the original game. As for the Enderman, however, we have a different story. The Enderman is very severely under the scale he should be. Endermen are meant to be around 4 blocks tall in the game. However, this Enderman is less than 3 blocks tall, maybe something like 3.7, which is another disappointment. You'd expect that the official figures for £8 each that you are buying would be to the correct scale and colour, but this does not seem to be the case. I understand if the creators wanted the figure to be able to stand up by itself, which it does perfectly. That might be a reason why, but it also could have been a cost-cutting measure, which is a little bit disappointing, seeing as these figures are £8. I mean, for £8 you could get a really good figure. I mean, these are branded figures, but if you're paying £8 for a figure, you expect that figure, especially at these size and detail, to be realistic and to look like the real thing. And unfortunately, this Enderman just looks way off really. It doesn't really look like the Enderman it's supposed to be. So that is a disappointment. Looking at the quality of the plastic of the models, they seem to be built from quite a sturdy plastic. It doesn't sound too cheap. It's quite sturdy, so the actual plastic bit is probably not going to break. But the way the models catch the light sometimes can be a disappointment. See how much glare there is on him. It would have been nicer if they used a different type of plastic that does not have that glare, so that, because I mean the glare doesn't really look. It doesn't really look that good on these models. It would have been nicer if they put on more of a matte plastic that wouldn't do that. That is another complaint there. So overall, if you are a fan of this game, these figures are a must buy. You need to buy these figures. And in fact, we only have 2 of the figures there are. There is also a skeleton, I believe a villager golem, a creeper, definitely, with a TNT block, a skeleton, and a diamond armor Steve, which is very nice because you can remove the helmet. But these are the only figures I've bought, and I don't plan to buy any more. These figures overall, if you are a fan, you should buy, but I think personally are a bit of a disappointment due to the bad scale, build quality and colour factor. Thank you for watching.